What's up, guys? That really gross guy here, and we are back playing Warframe. And oh my goodness, people are outraged by this new passive 18.3 rework. I am Mesa. Lotus is gonna interrupt
You are
me.
here to find our target and bring them to the extraction point. Happy hunting.
Thank you, Lotus. So people are upset, and I don't understand. I do, but I don't. Cause all right, we're Mesa, so let's get into some actual killing stuff. But for example, I kind of talked in a recent episode about some of the passives, and some of the passives I don't
Stand
believe.
Our target is in the vicinity. Find them.
I don't believe are that viable or dependable, which I think they need to be tweaked, and that's the beautiful thing about DE Digital Extremes is that they listen to constructive criticism. Every time someone gets online and they try something out, especially, some of the veteran players that have been around for a while and have been using frames like crazy, even as long as you know what you're talking about and they look into it and it sounds reasonable, they will listen. And I'm a little guy. They've probably never seen any of my videos, and that's to be expected. You might be able to see lots of chat going on in the left-hand side under my picture. That's because a lot of people are talking about an additional change, multiple additional changes, because DE is listening. They are listening. So, generally, with we'll talk about the original changes that they made. They added a lot of capacity, or not capacity, a lot of passive. I just literally was watching chat and it said capacity, and I said capacity, but they were watching what we say, and they're listening. They are listening. So one thing that I just want to talk about Mesa for a real quick second is the shooting gallery is now permanent for Mesa. So now that I am using, oh, that's Shatter Shield. Oops, shooting gallery. I now have a permanent, I believe, accuracy buff. Let's see. Mesa's shooting gallery will not have a permanent buff. All allies will still have to rotate. So allies will still have to receive the bonus. I will have it for the rest of this match, which is cool. So that's that. That's Mesa. Peacemaker also is going to use her secondary mods for improving her secondary weapons mods are going to improve the damage dealt, or maybe even speed of all, like not reload speed, but maybe fire rate or something. I don't know if all of those take into account, but definitely damage does. So the better your secondary weapons are, the better your Peacemaker is going to be. I'm using the Gridlock as my primary, the Akvastos, which are pretty good, especially when you put on quite a bit of mods and whatnot. I can't believe I skimmed his head on top of that shield, but yeah, so that's going to help her Peacemaker be stronger. I'm also using the Fangs because I'm awesome, but that's just going off of the build. So getting back to the whole rework and whatnot, people are not happy with Mag, and to be honest, it doesn't seem like things are that different. I know, yes, things are different, but I don't know. People who main Mag are upset, and I see why, but at the same time, I also know that she's very different. You need to kind of relearn how to use her, and ultimately she's better. she is better whether you like it or not. She is a better frame. It's just you have to use her differently in order to reap the new benefits. You know, the new rework. You have to learn how to use her now to gain maximum potential out of her. So let's get Peacemaker going to clear this room. Those guys are down. We'll grab the target. I'm going to sit around here. We're going to talk for a little bit. So that people are upset with that. I don't know if people are outraged by the new passives. I would like to see some changes, but I'm not upset. Ultimately, every passive has every passive is a bonus, is something that the Warframe could not do before, and it's better. If it comes down to, well, then we'll just take all the passives away, that doesn't help us at all. That just hurts us. I mean, I would like to see some tweaks, and DE does listen to that feedback. They will make some tweaks. I guarantee some of those things will be changed either slightly, or maybe they'll just change it altogether. But some of them will stay the same. Whether you like it or not, some of them will stay the same. It's all for balance. They have to balance things out. If DE was to release tomorrow a Warframe that literally could never die, people would be pissed off. There are some people who would be super happy, but people would be very pissed off. And that's just because it's kind of just not fair. How come, it's because of your taste, to be honest. I like Mesa, and I would be upset if I spent a lot of time making my Mesa awesome, and they just made a new frame that could walk through every level and never die. That would be frustrating. I'd be like, well, why do I even have other Warframes then? Every Warframe has a specific purpose, and that's just how it is. If those purposes are unbalanced, such as this we'll talk about when it comes to Valkyr and Trinity, that's a change. They just changed the amount of time that beeps, the grenade goes off, which is cool. I like that. Thank you, DE. But people are pissed off about... You guys probably heard that. People are pissed off about... Be quiet. People are pissed off about the fact that they nerfed Valkyr in a way. It has something to do with she will take damage if she's in Hysteria for an extended amount of time, and basically when you come out of Hysteria, you're surrounded by enemies, something along those lines, where it's going to be more difficult for you to be invincible with Valkyr, which is understandable. DE is going to stop you from being invincible, especially if you have mods to keep Hysteria going for like at least 3 minutes. You can, if you know how to play Valkyr, you can be, if you really know how to play Valkyr, you can be practically invincible for an entire match. That's not how Warframe is designed. That's easy mode. They want to avoid that easy mode whatnot. It's cool to be a badass Warframe and run through and go to town on guys, but they don't, like I said, they don't want it to be a walk in the park. It's not supposed to be a walk in the, it's not even, at that point it wouldn't even be a walk in the park. It would be as though you're sitting sitting in a car, taking a nap, and it drives you to where you want to go. You know what I mean? It's not... I understand why they need to limit that, and I agree. Well, some people might not like that, but I agree that things need to be balanced, and things... I don't know. I'm not that great at Warframe, and things are bad enough, but I would rather struggle than just walk through like this and just run to the end of the mission and not have to worry about anything. Just... Thank you to my shade, by the way, for cloaking me. Oh, that's not fair, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I understand. Everyone has their opinion. Everyone has their opinion. Just know that sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes things are better off when you're unhappy. Sorry. But yeah, so off of that topic, we'll kind of talk about Trinity also had a limit where now you weren't 100% healed and invincible for her blessing. It says something like you're now healed up to 75% of your maximum health. I believe there is still an invincible period of time. But I don't know. I get it, because people, back in the day, people were able to play an entire survival mission for hours and not take any damage, because you could go in with 2 Trinities and back-to-back just constantly heal the party. And you could never, ever, ever need a health, to restore your health any other way. You could be I don't know. You could just walk through the game with no worries, and Trinity would keep both of those Trinities would keep you alive for the entire match. And I mean, I understand having a good combination of players in a match in a game, and that's that's just playing the game intelligently, but at the same time, they also, like I said, they're making it so it's not a walk in the park. They don't want it to be a walk in the park, and that's understandable. But other than that, that's pretty much all that needs to be said, to be honest. I mean, the passives are good one way or another. Every passive is better than no passive. That's just, I would rather have a passive than no passive. But I would love it if those passives fit my playstyle 100%. Because let's say I'm using who has... Okay, for example, they just reworked Volt. If I had a Volt that used nothing but Sprint, his speed ability, and I used no electric-based weapons, I would not reap the full benefits of his new passive. That's my fault for not gearing him towards that passive. That's just how it is. Things will change in Warframe because it's always being developed. They are constantly developing the game, and when new things come out, they have to balance out the old things. People are pissed off about Excalibur. That's one that I totally forgot, but I love Excalibur. His Exalted Blade is amazing. people are so mad that his Exalted Blade is being nerfed. And I agree. I agree with the fact that it sucks, but I agree that it is the right thing to do. Because if you can sit back in this corner and look at that door and you just do this, you just sit back, even hold back, even you can hold back with Exalted Blade and not move like an inch. Everything in that door is dying. You're a turret at that point. You're like Bastion in Overwatch. All you do is sit there and you just kill everything in a hallway. That's not what a ninja does. A ninja doesn't stand in a hallway and throw a million shurikens down the hallway and just go. That's not a ninja. You're a frickin' ninja. Excalibur is a sword-wielding ninja. That's just how it is. That's like taking Ash's shuriken, like I said, and doing the same thing and just killing everything in the room. And using almost zero energy to do so. That's I don't know. Yes, it's fun, but to a certain degree. I mean, it's not difficult. It's not difficult, and they want the game to be at least somewhat difficult. And I agree. It seems like I'm the only person that does agree, but that's how it is, guys. Unfortunately, that's how it is. Like, I don't even want to say unfortunately, because it's a good thing. In the long run, it's a good thing. I do understand that it's not perfect. It will never be perfect. But like I said, DE is listening to what you have to say. They will make some changes because, you know, they don't have a whole lot of time to test every little detail of every new update. If they tested every single update until it was 100% balanced, we would never, ever, ever, ever get an update. Ever. So, thank you, DE, for being on the ball. Thank you, DE, for listening to us and getting our feedback.
I'm detecting a large security force heading your way.
Shut up. I'm about to leave. Thank you, DE, for adding user-created content to your game. There are weapons and warframes and everything 100% inspired by the community, and what company does that? There's like no companies that do that. Not to mention, if you make content in the game, you reap benefits from doing that. If you make a new skin, they give you some of the money that they made on that skin. They give you back. It's I don't, there's not much else I can say. So thank you, DE. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is Mesa. A very small rework happened with her, a little bit of tweaks, and I'm just gonna sit here and take all the bullets, and he's not gonna hurt me. Well, for 9 more seconds. So, oh, it's too. Gotta nerf that too. Nerf it. Go ahead. I dare you. Until next time, guys.